What's going on, YouTube? Zabaza here, bringing you a little cut battle with my monocolor orange team. Look at my opponent's team, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's common, there's not a lot of threats in there, and it's like, this is how fun battling teams are made. So looking again at his team, I see a Starly, a Panseer, a Trico, a Blitzel, a Chikorita, and a Frillish. Some things I'm fearing, Trico because they're known swords dancers, and Chikorita because they're known dual screeners. As for the other guys, I'm not sure what they are. Frillish is kind of annoying because they have very good defensive bulk, and they have Will-O-Wisp, and Water Absorb, and Cursed Body, and they could just run so many different sets, it's impossible to tell exactly what they're going to be running when you see one. As far as Starly and Panseer go, I've never faced them in Little Cup before, so this will be an interesting challenge. So let's get straight into it. This battle is versus FlamingMonferno20, who I met on the Smogon Wi-Fi-Battle Finder. I'm going to start off with my Buzzard first turn, my Archon, as he sends out Staraptor, his Starly. I'm going to go for the Stone Edge first turn, and I actually had to look this up on the Smogon thing, and turns out this thing runs a Scarf set, but the thing is, it only hits about 22 speed, which means since my Archon is 24 speed, I'm going to be able to outspeed it and knock it out with the Stone Edge. Anyway, next turn, he switches into his Chikorita as I go into my Georgina, my Chimchar. He Toxics me as I go for the Stealth Rock. And he's going to switch out into his Frilly, not wanting to take the Fire-type move. Here I'm going to switch straight out into my Baguette as he goes for the taunt. I'm not sure what he was expecting. I already got my rocks up. And he's going to go for Will-O-Wisp after that. So I'm going to go straight for the knockoff and knock off its Eviolite because now it's not going to be too much of a threat. I'm going to pull back, go into my Jelly just to hit it with a Hidden Power Electric. And he's going to go for the Nightshade, which is not going to do anything because, you know, it's like 5 damage. And I'm going to go for the Hidden Power. Turns out that it wasn't Hidden Power Electric, so I'm gonna have to redo this Weasel, and that's not gonna be fun. But he switches into his Bachelor, his Trico, and predicting me to switch or something, he goes for the Swords Dance, but I don't. I stay in just to try and knock it out, and he's gonna go back into his Chikorita just to take the damage. Here, I'm not gonna want to stand against this thing. I've got a minus special defensive nature. I'm gonna pull out, go into my Baguette, as he's gonna go for Synthesis. And here, he's going to make a very nice prediction on his part. I'm going to go for Spore, and he's going to switch into his Bachelor, which is going to be perfect sleep fodder now that it's going to die from one Stealth Rock entry. And it's just worked out really well for him. He's going to pull back and go into his Seared, his Panseer, as I'm just going to go for the knockoff to knock off whatever it's got. It's a Life Orb. And not wanting to take Fire-type attack, I'm going to pull back and go into my Georgina, knowing that she can take the Fire-type attack, but he just goes for Sunny Day. And I'm going to go for U-turn so I can get a safe switch, as he goes for Fire Blast, and that does, meh, a little bit. If I wasn't the defensive nature, it probably would have knocked me out, or not knocked me out, but got me really, really low. So I go for a U-turn and switch into my Ron, and he accurately predicts my Shell Smash and goes for the taunt, but it doesn't matter, because next turn I'm going to knock it out with an Earthquake, and he's going to do a lot of damage with that Fire Blast. So now I'm going to go, he's going to send out his Dennis, his Blitzel, and go for Thunderbolt just to knock me out, which means down goes Ron, and the critical hit did not matter whatsoever. So the Sunlight fades, and I'm going to send out my Buzzard just so I can KO it. But I know he's going to pull a switch here, so I'm just going to go for a U-turn. But he very nicely goes into his Trico for Death Fodder, which means now he knows what I'm going to do, but I don't mind here, so I'm just going to go for the U-turn and switch into my Paris, since really it's the best thing to take this, even though it's burned. Because he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, but I'm already burned, so really it can't really do anything to me. He's going to go for the taunt, predicting my Spore, which was very good. So he's predicting me quite well. And go for the Nightshade, and I'm going to die due to toxic damage for a bit in a couple turns. I'm going to go for the Seed Bomb, which does a respectable amount considering I'm burned. And he's going to just recover off the damage while I take him down a little bit with Seed Bomb. So down goes Paris, and I'm going to switch into my Buzzard just so I can get a quick knockout with U-turn. So down goes his Frilly, and that was a major threat on his team, just completely wiped out. So I'm going to switch into my Georgina, thinking that no matter what he sends in, I can probably get a safe switch out with U-turn. And he sends out his Dennis, his his Blitzel, and goes for Charge Beam. And he really should have gone for Thunderbolt, because that probably would have knocked me out, because now I think I'm in Blaze range, which means a Fire Blast is going to KO, no question. He sends out Katie, his last Pokemon, and I go for Fire Blast, but I miss, which is horrible. And I'm going to keep going for these Fire Blasts, but they're going to keep missing. And he's just going to Synthesis to get his HP back up, and now I'm going to go down. So down goes Georgina, and I'm going to send out Buzzard. Now I'm thinking that since it doesn't have a lot of attack investment, I can go for a Pluck and knock it out with 2 hits. And thankfully I was right. I do go for Pluck twice, it knocks it out, and that's the end of the battle. Thanks for that battle, FlamingMonferno20. I had a lot of fun. Okay, so let's get to the talk of the day. Today's talk of the day, we're going to be doing some Poke Analysis. Today's Poke Analysis is going to be on Abra. Alright, so let's look at the Smogon sets first. Smogon has 2 offensive sets for Abra, which run pretty much the same as far as EVs and IVs go, but have a couple differences in items and movesets. So, the Smogon offensive Abras are Abras with Magic Guard, Timid or Modest Nature, with EVs of 240 special attack and 200 speed, and IVs of 30 defense, 30 special attack, 30 special defense, and 30 speed. The choice set that is on Smogon is a Choice Scarf with Psyshock, Energy Ball, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Fighting, while the sweeping set on Smogon is a Focus Sash with Psychic, Protect, Shadow Ball, and Hidden Power Fighting. As you can see, the choice set obviously uses a choice item, while the sweeper set uses a Focus Sash when it needs to get hit by something, and let's face it, Abra has no defenses. For the Choice Scarf set, Psyshock over Psychic to break through physical walls, and Energy Ball to hit stuff like Chinchou or Frillish, which are guaranteed to hit KOs. And with the Focus Sash set, it has Psychic over Psyshock because it has just a little bit more power, and Protect to take care of those pesky priority moves such as Fake Out, which obviously hinder its Focus Sash. The other set that Smogon has is a dual screening set. This Abra has an ability of Inner Focus with Light Clay, a Timid Nature with 236 HP, 76 defense, and 196 speed, with the moveset of Encore, Reflect, Light Screen with Psychic or Psyshock. This is pretty much a standard dual screener, but for Psychic types. This next set is a custom set that I made. It's a little gimmicky, but I think it works pretty well. It's actually an anti-lead set. It's got Inner Focus with an Oranberry, a Hasty Nature with 236 HP, 76 defense, 196 speed, and an IVs of 9 defense or lower. The thing is, you have to minimize the defense on this Abra because the anti-lead I'm talking about is for stuff like a Mienfoo, Chimchar, you know, stuff with Fake Out. So the way this Abra works is, you let it get hit by Fake Out, and then you immediately use Counter, which is a guaranteed KO. As long as it doesn't have any HP investment, it's a guaranteed KO. And even if it does, you're most likely going to outspeed it since it's got the Hasty Nature, which means you can hit it with a Charge Beam. I put Substitute and Recycle on here, so that way you can recycle your Oranberry over and over, and you can use Substitute to block anything that tries to Leech Seed you or Toxic you and stuff like that. In Charge Beam, well, let's face it, Abra has amazing attack, even when there's no investment. So when you go with Charge Beam, even though it's a low-powered attack, that special attack is going to go higher and higher and higher, and it's just going to start KOing left and right. So this next set's a bit better. This Abra is a trick set, which pretty much follows the Smogon offensive stats, but with one little addendum. Instead of Energy Ball, like with that Choice Scarf set, this uses Trick for obvious reasons, just to cripple stuff. This one has Synchronized because unfortunately Abra does not get Trick with the 5th generation, it's only a 4th gen move. And the rest of the moves are pretty much like the other set. I would highly recommend a Choice spec for this set because you're going to be doing a lot of damage, a lot. And finally, this is an awesome set. It's gimmicky, but it's just works so well if you can get it off. This Abra is what I like to call an anti-wall set. It has Magic Guard, Eviolite with a Hasty Nature of 156 HP, 80 special attack, and 200 speed, with IVs of 6 defense, 30 special attack, 6 special defense, and 30 speed, with a moveset of Psyshock, Guard Swap, Charge Beam, and Hidden Power Fighting. This would give you near perfect coverage. There's only like 2 Pokemon that resist this moveset, and those are Magnemite and Baltoy. But the thing is, with Guard Swap, Abra has very low defenses already. So with Guard Swap, you're going to pass on your defenses to the wall, and then you're going to absolutely obliterate it with Psyshock. That's how this set works. And because it has Eviolite, you get their defenses plus more. Charge Beam is so you can get even more attack, and the Hasty Nature is so it'll outspeed most everything that's not Scarfed. I actually did a few more sets of Abra, but it's like Abra has such a vast move pool and such good stats, it can really do most anything. So that's it for today's Poke Analysis. I hope you guys got some good ideas off that. Hope you guys enjoyed that battle. Comment, rate, subscribe, and challenge.